And welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We welcome our friends from the Stark County District Library, Jen Walensik and Dee Rondinella.
Hi.
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jen, you're an old friend. You always have a million things going on there. Tell us a little bit about the next author coming to town.
Oh, well, sorry. As you know, we do the Dr. Audrey Levin Speaking of Books author series. That is our large event, which brings acclaimed writers to Stark County who inspire lively discussion and community conversation. And our next visitor will be Terry McMillan. She's the author of Waiting to Exhale and How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Yeah, now, okay, these are both pretty popular, and one turned into a movie, at least one. Both?
Both were award-winning movies.
And so how does that happen? Do we know, or is that something we must ask Terry when she's here, how a book becomes a film?
We're going to have to ask her that when she's here, but it's pretty exciting. A lot of her books have also been turned into shows, too.
Now, all right, how do we get these people? Because you are amazing at bringing in just the most high caliber of authors.
Well, Julia Shaheen and Mariana both are the program schedulers for that, and they have done an excellent job bringing in the best writers they could this year. Really excited to see what they do next year.
Oh, my goodness, yes. All right, so when will Terry McMillan be here?
She will be here on February 15th at 6:30 at the Canton Palace Theater.
Great, so we've got a little bit of time, but I bet the tickets go fast. So how do we get tickets?
Well, we have about 450 tickets left, so you have to reserve your tickets, which are free at starklibrary.org/speakingofbooks.
Because you are the smart store where everything is free.
That is right.
Now, how do we make these kinds of events available to the public? Because this is amazing to bring in these high caliber speakers, and yet we don't have to pay for tickets, although you do need a ticket to attend.
You just need to register. We're not actually printing off tickets, as far as I'm aware, unless we end up with a wait list.
So who pays for this? Do we know?
Oh, we have our part of our foundation pays for some of it. The library does some sponsoring of it, and we just continue with our programming area. And
What a gift to the community, I just have to say. It's just a tremendous gift to the community. And why does the library invest in these kinds of things? Why is that important to get us reading?
Well, literacy is, of course, one of our main points, but it's also to share smart, which is part of our reimagination as the smart store. And it's really about getting the community engaged and really working together to promote these sorts of programs with Stark County.
So we highly recommend that you read Waiting to Exhale or How Stella Got Her Groove Back, or at least go see the films, rent them. Netflix is out there, before hearing Terry McMillan. And again, that is going to be February
15th.
15th at what time?
6:30 at the Canton Palace Theater.
Great. All right. And you're also going to be doing something that I think is just so much fun. We've all got these things sitting around the house that belong to our great-great-great-grandmother and have no idea what the value might be. We know the value to us is just irreplaceable, and we would never want to be without it. But it would be kind of fun to know, just on the offside that things go south, what the dollar amount might be for this. And so what are you doing as far as antiques?
Well, on February 25th, we're going to have our Antiques Appraisal event with Ed Fernandez of Fernandez Auctioneers, and we're going to be offering free appraisals of any item that can be brought into the library.
Is there an amount that you're allowed to bring in per person?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's anything you can carry, so you're only limited by your strength, I guess.
So might want to leave the piano at home, but other things.
Yeah, it is on a first-come, first-served basis, and registration is requested just to kind of guarantee your time slot, but
that is so fun. Now this will be down at the Canton branch?
Yes, this will be in the main library in downtown Canton on Market.
And the date again?
February 25th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
From 9 to 1. Okay. Whatever you can carry. Free appraisal. Remind us who Ed Fernandez is. How does he know what things are worth?
Well, he works with Fernandez Auctioneers. As an auctioneer, I'm sure they have to do a lot of appraisal before they start to sell their wares.
I'm impressed that you've got him because he really has been around for quite a while and has got quite the reputation. So I think you can pretty much take Ed's word to the bank, so to speak, as far as what he would be able to come up with, as far as appraising those wonderful things that you've got tucked away in the, little curio shelf. Go see what that's worth. That would be fun. Dee, you're doing some exciting things as well. Tell us a little bit about the tech classes that are taking place.
The Starr County District Library has been providing tech classes for about 11 years. And these technology classes are everything from the actual computers to mobile devices, the software that goes with them, as well as, really more important, is our digital collection that we have that we teach people how to access and how to use. And we have approximately 200 and 250 classes a year, and they base from everywhere from our really basic skills, in other words, somebody who's never touched a computer before, all the way up into where I will teach advanced classes that both Muskingum University and Ashland University will sponsor for our teachers. And so we bring in about 4,000 people a year. Now, piggybacked with that is our Book and Expert program. And our Book and Expert program is in 3 divisions, which is our digital collection, where if you do get an e-reader and you're like, well, how do I get a library book on this? We will sit with you for 55 minutes and work with you and get you going and making sure you're all right. And
can I stop you there? It doesn't normally take 55 minutes to get a library book onto an e-reader. So, okay, but you're willing to give us that kind of
we will
time.
give you that kind
That's
of
very
time.
generous of you.
It actually only takes a few seconds
Exactly.
to download a book. But sometimes getting started and making sure that you really have a hands-on, we don't ever want you to leave the door without really feeling comfortable with getting your book onto your digital.
Do you find more and more people are reading this way?
I am. As they are discovering us, we do have our book lovers that will always be faithful, but we've got a generation that is, I should say, cross-generation, or we have a group of individuals who have found a lot of freedom in the digital collection. We also have people who are rediscovering our library because of the digital collection, because perhaps they are out of range to get to us, or no car, or maybe there's something that's preventing them from driving in any way. We can still get them their digital collections that they need.
I think some people have found that their best time of the day to read is after they've gone to bed and they don't want to turn a light on and bother anyone. So It's a nice way to be able to just throw that blanket over your head and dive in and read a book until you fall asleep.
It is. It's a 24/7 service that you can go in, and if you use the Ohio Digital Library part, then you can have a book, you can have any videos, there's music, and there's magazines even there. If you want an audiobook, you can also go over to our Hoopla app and you can have wonderful audio. I mean, some great movies and music and TV, it's on there. And another feature very few people know about is our comic books.
Really?
Yes. We're introducing a lot to our teens and younger students that we have comic books that are online too that they can access from their tablets.
Now, tell me how this works because, I'm going to ask a really silly sounding question. When we would go to the library and check out a book, if they didn't have it, we'd have to wait until somebody returned it, and then we'd get on a waiting list, and then they'd call us and tell us, your book is in, come on in and get it. Does that happen with digital because they're digital? Are there still a limited number that you can loan out at one time, or can anybody read it at any time because it's online?
Some of our apps, yes. For instance, our Zinio magazines and some of our Hoopla, yes. But some are things that are in the Ohio Digital Library, those ones we purchase a license for. And the really great thing is, while you may have to wait on hold for something, there's a feature called auto download that as soon as it comes available, it sends you a little pling and it goes right onto your account, and you just tap the download button and it's all yours.
That is awesome. People need to remember this because it's too easy to think, oh, I want this, and you go to Amazon or whatever and buy it. Check the library first, right?
Absolutely. Check the library first. And we also have what we call a patron demand type of collection, where if we don't have it, if you let us know and it's available in digital format, we'll do our best to get a hold of it and get it into the collection for.
Oh, that's so awesome. All right, for anyone who does not have a library card, tell us the process, because it's easy. It's easier than it ever was.
You can go online to the library, and inside of our 24/7 or our frequently asked question area, you can go ahead and open up an online application. You can have what we call a digital mini card, which will allow you to have all of our digital resources. And then that can be kicked over then eventually to a full-blown card where you can use all of the resources of the library. And it's just a matter of filling out 7 different answer questions to most of the things, name, address, things like that, and then hitting the go button. It'll give you a little mini number, and that's the number you can use forever if you want to.
And there you go. Yeah. Bob's your uncle. It's kind of interesting how libraries have had to reinvent themselves. Would you agree? Would you say you went through maybe a few years ago saying, why are we still here? What is our service that we provide? Who are we? Am I off there, or did that kind of happen?
It really did happen. I've been in libraries for over 20 years. I'm a librarian, and mine is a technology librarian. But what has happened when I first started libraries, we were research. But the demand changed, and therefore we had to learn to change too. And so we became more of the popular, and then now slipping over into even more of like the digital collection, the online. So we're going more than just having computers available, but literally learning to become that open door 24/7 library for our patrons.
You mentioned the statewide part of the library. Anyone has access to that through you?
The Ohio Digital Library?
Yes.
Anybody who has a Stark County District Library or any other affiliated library can access the Ohio Digital Library.
I'm thinking of college students, grad students who used to just spend all your spare time in a library. Now you can do more of it online. What kind of assistance do you have for them?
Well, there's actually a number of different assistances we can do for our college students. We have now Ohio Link as well as Searches Ohio, but there's also a couple of our databases that are out there that are college level, that not only can the students access the citation information, but they can also get full online articles as well.
So no more going out on a rainy night at midnight to try and find something that you need for a paper due. You can really go online and do that?
Through your library, you sure can.
You guys are amazing. Okay, digital offerings, what else do we have in the way of digital?
Oh my, if you're talking about the actual collection, it's of course the magazines and the books and the audio files and the streaming and comic books. But we also have a collection of things we circulate. Like, for example, we have Kindles with preloaded books on them that we do circulate. We have what is called SPEC, and SPEC is air quality monitor that you can borrow to put in your house and see how your air quality is. And we also have Wi-Fi hotspots that you're more than welcome to borrow as long as you have a good standing card.
I'm very interested in how you got involved with checking air quality. The library's gotten more and more into things that have almost nothing to do with reading, just great service. How did you get into that?
Well, and that's the key, the great service. We do a lot of research when we are out and about. One of the things I do for my side, being coordinator of technology training, I go and look at what other libraries are doing or what the popular demand is out there. And I let Mr. Burlingame know about it or what I found. He's our collection director. And he'll further investigate as to how can this help our patron. Because our big thing is we want to help our people, help our community. And so we fulfill that.
To be a librarian means something different today than it used to, doesn't it? It's a different job, but it's not a different person. The person still has that really great customer service.
You have to have a passion. You have to have a passion to want to help other people. And the thing that has, I think, changed for us librarians is the format of which that help is coming in. But it's still the end point. You're helping someone.
Are you kind of an anomaly, Dee? Because you seem to have really rolled with the punches, changed with the times, kept on top of the cutting edge. I'm sure when you got a library science degree 20 years ago or so, this isn't what you were talking about doing.
No. As a matter of fact, when I first was introduced to computers in 1982, I actually asked my husband, what would I ever need this for? And he always loves telling that story. But I think it's that myself, I'm a consumer, and so I know what I want and need. And with children in my house, watching them go through school and their environment change, I knew as a librarian I had to keep up with that. To be that best person I could be to help our people.
Well, you certainly are. We're visiting with Jen Walensik and Dee Rondinella, both from the Stark County District Library. Going to take a short break. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.